The night sky above Earth lit up with shooting stars. But one of these lights was not a star. It was a ship. Naira's ship broke through the clouds, shining like crystal in the moonlight. She had come back after 5 long years. Naira was not human. Her skin shimmered with soft light. Her eyes were silver, big and deep. She looked down at Earth through the windows of her ship. Somewhere down there was Olivia West, the human woman Naira had fallen in love with, the woman she had promised to find again. Scan for Olivia's life pattern, Naira told her ship's computer. The machine hummed. Naira had saved every detail of Olivia's body, her heartbeat, her breath, the way her cells worked. Things only Naira's advanced alien technology could detect. No. Matches found, the computer said. Naira frowned. She guided her ship lower toward the coast where she had first met Olivia. Back then, Olivia had been working as a scientist. She had been chosen to learn about Naira's people, the Astrali. No one had planned for them to fall in love. The ship hovered over what used to be a science building. Now it was just broken walls and fallen roofs. The war had done this. The short, terrible war between humans and the Astrali. Computer, show me what happened here. Images filled the screen. Explosions. People running. Ships in the sky firing weapons. Then nothing but smoke. And ruins. Naira's heart beat faster. Where was Olivia? Had she escaped before the attack? Was she even alive? I will find you, Naira whispered. I promised. She had taken a big risk coming back to Earth. Her people, the Astrali, thought she was here to spy on humans, to see if they were planning another war. If they found out she had come for Olivia, they would call her a traitor. They might even kill her. Naira didn't care. 5 years was too long. Every night she had dreamed of Olivia. Her red-brown hair, her kind eyes, her laugh. The way she had looked at Naira not as an alien, but as someone to love. The ship's alarm beeped. Human aircraft were coming to check on the strange object in their sky. Naira touched a panel and her ship vanished from sight. The cloaking system would hide her. I need to look like them, she said. Naira stepped into a small room in her ship. Light swirled around her. When it stopped, she looked almost human. Her skin still gave off a faint glow, but only in darkness would anyone notice. Naira gathered supplies. She would need to search on foot. Talk to humans. Ask questions. Find anyone who might know about Olivia. She took one last look at the sky through her ship's window. The stars seemed cold and far away. 5 years ago, they had pulled her back home when the war started. She had left Earth with tears in her eyes and a promise on her lips. I'm back now, Olivia, she said softly. And I won't leave without you. Naira checked her translator. It would help her speak like a human. She checked her scanner. It would help her find human military or police before they found her. She slipped a small weapon into her pocket. Just in case. Then she opened her ship's door and stepped onto Earth soil for the first time in 5 years. The air smelled different than she remembered. Burnt. Dusty. The grass under her feet was dry and yellow. The ruins of the science building stood dark against the night sky. Naira walked toward them. This was where she had first seen Olivia, first heard her voice, first felt that strange new feeling in her chest. Inside the ruins, Naira's silver eyes adjusted to the darkness. Broken glass crunched under her feet. Water dripped somewhere. A small animal scurried away. Naira touched a wall, remembering. Here was where Olivia had shown her Earth plants. Here was where they had talked late into the night about stars and planets and life on different worlds. Something caught her eye. A small metal box under fallen boards. Naira lifted the heavy wood easily. Astrali were stronger than humans, and picked up the box. Inside was a badge. A science team badge with a name, Dr. Olivia West. Naira held it tight. This was the first real sign of Olivia. The first proof she had been here. The first step to finding her again. A noise made Naira look up. Lights were moving in the distance. Humans with flashlights. searching the ruins. Maybe they did this every night. Maybe they had seen her ship land. Naira slipped the badge into her pocket and moved into deeper shadows. She wasn't ready to meet humans yet, not until she knew more. Not until she had a plan to find Olivia. She made her way back to her ship unseen. Once inside, she studied the badge. It had numbers on it. Codes. Maybe they could lead her to records about Olivia. About where survivors had been sent after the war. Naira set her ship's computer to work breaking the codes. While it worked, she looked out at Earth's night sky again. Somewhere under those stars was Olivia. Waiting. Perhaps even looking up at the same stars, wondering if Naira would ever return. "I'm here," Naira whispered. "I've only just begun to search, but I will find you no matter how long it takes, no matter where you are, no matter what stands in my way." The ship hummed around her as it worked. Dawn was coming. Tomorrow, she would begin asking questions. Tomorrow, she would take her first real steps in the long search for the woman she loved. Naira's silver eyes reflected the rising sun. A new day on Earth. A new chance to fulfill her promise. 3 months had passed since Naira landed on Earth. 3 months of searching, asking questions, following small clues, moving from place to place, always careful to hide the glow of her skin, always watching for those who might spot her as different. Today, she walked down steep stairs into what humans called Phoenix Base. It was underground. Once it had been a military place. Now it was where many humans lived after the war made parts of the surface unsafe. The air was thick with smells, food cooking. Too many people in a small space. Machines working hard to clean the air. Naira pulled her hood lower over her face. In dim light, humans might notice the soft shine of her skin. She had come here following a rumor. Someone had said, scientists from the coastal lab might have been brought here. Olivia might have been one of them. "Watch it," a man growled as Naira bumped into him. She nodded and kept moving. Her translator helped her understand human speech, but she spoke as little as possible. Her accent was strange to human ears. The underground base was huge. Tunnels went in all directions. People had made homes in old storage rooms. They had set up shops in hallways. Children played in spaces once used for weapons. Naira followed signs to what had once been a cafeteria. Now it was some kind of meeting, place, a bar. People traded things there. Information, too. She had learned how to trade. Pieces of her technology, small things her people wouldn't miss, for human help. For answers to her questions. Naira slid onto a seat at the bar. A woman with hard eyes served drinks. "What'll it be?" the woman asked. "Information," Naira said softly. The woman laughed. "That costs more than drinks." Naira placed a small crystal on the counter. It glowed with its own light. The woman's eyes widened. "Astrali tech," the woman whispered, quickly covering the crystal with her hand. She looked around to see if anyone had noticed. "You looking to get us both killed?" "I'm looking for someone," Naira said. The woman studied her face. Naira knew the dim light of the bar would show the faint glow of her skin. "You're one of them," the woman said. Not a question. "Yes." "Got nerve coming here." The woman slipped the crystal into her pocket. "What's your name?" "Naira." "I'm Kate Daniels." She leaned closer. "Last Astrali who tried to spy on us ended up dead." "I am not a spy," Naira said. She took out another crystal. This one held images. She showed Kate a picture of Olivia. "I seek this woman, Olivia West. She worked with your scientists. She was important to me." Kate looked at the picture for a long time. Then back at Naira. "You and her?" Kate asked. Naira nodded. Kate let out a long breath. "That explains why you'd risk your neck coming here." She tapped her fingers on the bar. "Yeah, I know her. Or knew her. She's not here anymore." Hope and fear filled Naira's chest. "Where is she?" Europa. Europa. Moon of Jupiter. Research station there. They sent her and other brain types to work on projects. Naira felt cold. Jupiter is very far. Yep, and no Astrali ships can get close. The defense grid will blow you to bits before you get near any moon of Jupiter. Naira sat in silence. So close to finding Olivia, yet still so far. Jupiter was not just distance. It was human weapons ready to destroy any Astrali who came near. I need to reach her, Naira said finally. Kate laughed, but there was no joy in it. You'd need a human ship, and a human pilot crazy enough to help an Astrali. Naira placed a third crystal on the bar, larger than the others. It pulsed with light. This could power a small human ship for 10 years, she said, or run this entire base for 1 month. Kate's eyes got big. That's worth more than your help, Naira finished. Take me to Europa. Kate took a long drink. You're insane. But she was looking at the crystal. Perhaps, said Naira, but I crossed space to find her once. I will find a way to cross it again. They'll shoot us down, Kate warned. Not if we look like any other human ship. Kate thought about it. I know a guy who might have a research vessel we could use, right? Papers, write codes, but it would take whatever it takes, Naira cut in. She placed a fourth crystal beside the third. There is more where these came from. Kate took another drink. Why? Why risk everything for her? She's just one human. Naira's silver eyes seemed to look far away. When your world meets mine, there is fear, distrust. We look at each other and see other. But when I looked at her, I saw someone who could understand me, who could see past my skin, my eyes, my different ways, and I could see past hers. She touched the picture of Olivia. In all the vastness of space, to find someone who can truly see you, that is worth any risk. Kate was quiet for a long time. Then she pocketed the other crystals. 3 days, she said. Meet me at the East cargo lift. Bring any gear you need. And more of those crystals, Naira nodded. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, Kate said. Getting to Europa is the easy part. Getting to her, past all the security, and then getting out again? She shook her head. You might wish we'd never gone. I made a promise, Naira said simply. I will keep it. Kate looked at her strangely. You Astrali are supposed to be cold, logical, no emotions. Naira stood up. Your people know very little about mine, just as mine know little of yours. She pulled her hood back over her face. In 3 days, we will both learn more. As Naira walked away, her mind was already racing ahead. Europa. A moon of ice, orbiting the giant planet Jupiter. And somewhere, on that distant moon was Olivia. For the first time in 5 years, Naira knew exactly where to find her. Now she just had to cross the space between them, past human defenses, past all dangers. 3 more days, she thought. Just 3 more days and I will be on my way to you, Olivia. Naira walked through the crowded tunnels, her heart lighter than it had been since she returned to Earth. She had a path now. She had help. Nothing would stop her. Not space, not danger, not even war. She had made a promise and she would keep it no matter the cost. The stolen research ship shook as it entered Jupiter's strong gravity field. Naira stood behind Kate in the small control room, watching as the giant planet filled the view screen. Jupiter was huge. Storms bigger than Earth moved across its surface. And there, like a small white dot against the orange and tan clouds, was Europa. Radiation's going to fry us if these shields fail, Kate said, tapping at controls. Human tech wasn't built for this kind of trip. Naira placed a small crystal on the control panel. This will strengthen your shields. Kate looked at it doubtfully but hooked it into the ship's systems. The shaking eased. We've been scanned twice already, Kate said. So far, our fake codes are working. They think we're a supply ship. She glanced back at Naira. But we'll be in visual range soon. If anyone sees an Astrali on board... Naira nodded and went to prepare. She put on the human spacesuit Kate had stolen for her. It felt wrong against her sensitive skin. Too tight in some places, too loose in others. The helmet would hide her face and the strange glow of her skin, but it limited her vision. "Coming up on Europa now," Kate called. Naira returned to the control room. Through the view screen she could see the icy moon growing larger. Its surface was white with cracks of dark blue running across it like veins. Beneath that ice was an ocean. Naira had studied this moon from afar but never thought she would see it up close. "There it is," Kate said, pointing to a dark spot on the white surface. Europa Station. The research station was built into the ice. Most of it was underground. Safe from radiation and extreme cold, only landing pads, communication towers, and a few domes showed above the surface. "Attention, research vessel," a voice came through the ship's speakers. "State your business." Kate pressed a button. "Supply run from Earth. Authorization code Bravo 7903. There was a pause that seemed to last forever. "Code accepted. Proceed to landing pad 3. Kate let out a breath. Oldest trick in the book. Use a real code, just from a ship. That's already left. They never check if it's been used before. The ship descended toward the landing pad. Through the suit helmet, Naira watched Europa Station grow larger. Somewhere in that place was Olivia. After 5 years after crossing space and breaking laws and risking death, Naira was finally close. "This is as far as I go," Kate said, bringing the ship to a landing. "Station security has already scanned us twice. You have maybe 30 minutes before they realize this code is fake." Naira nodded inside her helmet. "If I don't come back, I'll wait 15 minutes past the 30, Kate cut in. "Not a second longer. Whatever you two had, it better be worth potentially starting the war again." Naira touched her suit where underneath a small pendant hung around her neck. A gift from Olivia. A piece of earth crystal that had reminded Olivia of Naira's eyes. "It is worth everything," Naira said softly. The airlock hissed open. Cold beyond anything on Earth hit Naira's suit. The gravity was lighter here, making her steps bouncy despite the heavy suit. She moved toward a maintenance entrance Kate had identified from stolen plans. Once inside, Naira found a small, unused storage room and took off the helmet. She needed her full vision to navigate. The risk of being seen was less important than being able to move quickly and see clearly. The station was huge, with many levels going deep into the ice. Naira followed the path she had memorized from the stolen maps, down service ladders, through narrow passages used by repair robots. Always, avoiding the main corridors where humans would be. Naira's body was built for a different world. Her lungs worked harder in the station's thin air. Her eyes, made for a dimmer sun, found the station's lights too bright. But she kept moving. Olivia was here somewhere. At last, Naira reached the section marked Research Level 5 on the maps. This was where the most important scientists worked, where Olivia would most likely be. Security was tighter here. Cameras watched the corridors. Guards stood at checkpoints. Naira could not simply walk through. She found an air duct, removed the cover, and slipped inside. The space was tight even for her slim body. She crawled through darkness, guided by her memorized map and the soft glow of her own skin. Below, she could hear voices, scientists talking about projects, guards giving reports. With each meter she crawled, Naira listened for one voice, Olivia's voice. The air duct ended at a grate. Below was a large room filled with computers and strange equipment. Scientists in white coats moved around, checking screens, making notes. Naira scanned each face, looking for Olivia. Not there. Naira continued through the ducts, checking each room she passed. Lab after lab, office after office. No Olivia. Time was running out. Kate would leave soon. Naira had to find Olivia quickly. Then, she heard it. A voice giving orders. Tired but firm. A voice Naira would know anywhere. "The energy signature is still unstable. We need to contain it before it broadcasts any further." "Olivia." Naira moved faster through the duct toward the voice. She came to another grate and looked down. There she was. Olivia West. Older now. Her once bright red-brown hair had streaks of gray. Lines marked her face that hadn't been there before. But it was Olivia. She stood in the center of a large laboratory surrounded by computers and strange equipment. At the center of the room was something that made Naira's breath catch. A crystal structure, floating in a containment field. It pulsed, with light. It looked exactly like the cores that powered Astrali ships. Energy levels rising again. A scientist called out. "It's broadcasting." "Dampen the field," Olivia ordered. "We can't let the signature reach beyond Jupiter." Naira watched, confused and worried. That crystal was Astrali technology. It looked like a ship core, but something was wrong with it. The light pulsed in a pattern Naira had never seen before. An alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed. "What's happening?" Olivia demanded. A man at a console looked up, face pale. "We're picking up signals. Ships approaching Jupiter. Multiple contacts." "Astrali?" Olivia asked, her voice tight. "Yes, a battle group." The room erupted in panic. Scientists grabbed data pads. Some ran for the doors. "Evacuate all non-essential personnel," Olivia ordered. "I'll try to shut down the core." The room emptied until only Olivia remained, working desperately at a console. Naira removed the grate and dropped silently into the room. "The field won't collapse," Olivia muttered to herself, not noticing Naira. "They're coming. They found us." "Who found you?" Naira asked softly. Olivia spun around. Her eyes went wide with shock, then fear, then something Naira couldn't read. "Naira? How?" She shook her head as if trying to wake from a dream. "You need to leave. Now. Your people, the Astrali fleet. They've broken through our outer defenses. They're heading for Europa." Naira moved closer, her silver eyes fixed on Olivia's face. 5 years. So much had changed. But the feeling in her chest, the warmth that spread through her at the sight of Olivia, that was the same. "I've been searching for you," Naira said. "I promised I would find you again." Olivia's eyes filled with tears. "You shouldn't have come. It's not safe. Your people—" "I don't understand. The Astrali agreed to peace. We maintain only defensive positions." Olivia pointed to the floating crystal. "Tell that to the battle group approaching Jupiter." She paused, studying Naira's face. "You really didn't know." The alarm continued to sound. Time was running out. "What have you been doing here?" Naira asked, looking at the crystal. "What is that?" Olivia took a deep breath. "That's why they're coming. That's why we're all in danger." She looked at the crystal, then back at Naira. "And that's why I need your help." "That's impossible," Naira whispered, looking at the floating crystal in the center of the lab. "The High Command agreed to the ceasefire. We only keep defense ships at our borders." Olivia tapped at a screen, pulling up a map of the Jupiter system. Red dots moved steadily toward Europa. "Tell that to the battle group coming our way." She looked at Naira closely. "You really didn't know they were coming?" "I've been searching for you," Naira said. Nothing else mattered. She moved closer, saw Olivia tense but stand her ground. "What have you been doing here that would make my people attack?" Olivia was quiet for a moment. Then she pointed to the floating crystal. "Project Prometheus," she explained. "After the war, we found pieces of Astrali ship cores. We studied them, learned how they work, then we tried to make our own." She rubbed her tired eyes. "It was supposed to be for clean energy, for space travel, not for weapons." Naira moved toward the crystal, her silver eyes reflecting its pulsing light. "Something went wrong," Olivia continued. "The energy signature, it's broadcasting across space. Like a beacon." Her voice cracked. "I tried to warn them. The resonance pattern, it's identical to your sacred birth chambers. They think we're manufacturing weapons to target Astrali reproduction." Horror washed over Naira. Such an act would be considered genocide by her people, the ultimate reason to break any peace agreement. Yet she could see from the setup that the humans had no idea what they'd stumbled upon. "This is not a ship core," Naira said, walking around the floating crystal. "You've accidentally created something that mimics our birth chamber frequencies. To my people, this looks like you're preparing to destroy our future, our children." Olivia's face went pale. We didn't know. We were just trying to understand. The technology. The alarm blared louder. A voice came over the speakers. All personnel evacuate immediately. This is not a drill. Astrali ships have entered the Jupiter system. All personnel evacuate. We need to destroy it, Naira said decisively. Now, before my people arrive. That's what I've been trying to do. Olivia gestured to the console. But the containment field requires authorization from Earth Command. They're not responding. Naira reached out, hesitating before touching Olivia's hand. 5 years of separation, and now their first touch might be their last. I can override it, but it will trigger alarms across the station. Their eyes met, years of longing compressed into a single moment of silent communication. Do it, Olivia whispered. Naira moved to the console. Her fingers danced across the controls. The humans had tried to understand Astrali technology, but they had missed crucial elements. Naira saw the mistakes immediately. The containment field is tied into your station's power grid, she said. If I collapse it, the feedback could damage your systems. We're evacuating anyway, Olivia said, moving to stand beside her. Just do it. Naira entered a series of commands. The crystal's pulsing grew faster. It's working, Olivia said. The field is weakening. A new alarm started. This one deeper, more urgent. What's happening? Olivia asked. Naira's face was grim. The crystal is destabilizing too quickly. It's going to... An explosion rocked the station. Lights flickered. Olivia stumbled, and Naira caught her, holding her close for the first time in 5 years. We need to get out of here, Naira said. The crystal will destroy itself, but the reaction is spreading. They ran from the lab, just as another explosion sent cracks spreading across the walls. The hallway was empty. Everyone else had already evacuated. Kate is waiting with a ship, Naira said as they ran. We have less than 15 minutes to reach her. Kate Daniels? Olivia asked, surprised. She's helping you? I paid her well, Naira replied. But time is running out. They reached an intersection of corridors. Smoke filled one passage. Sparks flew from broken lights in another. This way, Olivia said, pulling Naira down a third path. Shortcut to the upper levels. They ran together through the shaking station. Parts of the ceiling fell around them. Doors jammed halfway open. Emergency lights cast everything in red. Why did you come back? Olivia asked as they climbed a maintenance ladder. After all this time? After the war? I made a promise, Naira said simply. I told you I would find you again. But your people do not know why I'm here. They think I came to spy on humans. Olivia stopped climbing for a moment, looking down at Naira. You risked being called a traitor? For me? Naira's silver eyes glowed in the dim light. Yes. They continued upward in silence. The station shuddered around them. Warning, an automated voice announced. Core containment failure. Station structural integrity compromised. All personnel evacuate immediately. That's our doing, Naira said. The crystal is breaking down. Will it stop broadcasting the signal? Olivia asked. Yes, but we need to be far from here when it fully collapses. They reached the upper level and ran toward the airlock where Naira had entered. The corridor was blocked by fallen debris. There's another way, Olivia said. Follow me. She led Naira through a series of small rooms, labs, offices, storage spaces. The station continued to shake and groan around them. Almost there, Olivia said as they approached another airlock. This leads to landing pad 4. Kate is at pad 3, Naira said. They're connected by an external walkway. Olivia grabbed 2 spacesuits from a locker. Put this on. The walkway isn't pressurized. Naira struggled into the human suit again. It still felt wrong against her skin, but it would keep her alive in the vacuum of space. As Olivia put on her own suit, Naira watched her. 5 years had changed her. She moved more carefully now. The playful energy Naira remembered had been replaced by a focused determination. But her eyes were the same, brown with flecks of gold, eyes that had looked at Naira and seen not an alien, but someone to care for. I never stopped thinking about you, Naira said as Olivia sealed her helmet. Every day for 5 years I remembered your face, your voice. Olivia's eyes softened behind her helmet visor. I thought you were never coming back. I thought maybe you'd forgotten about me, or that your people had punished you for caring about a human. Nothing could make me forget you, Naira said. Nothing could stop me from finding you again. A violent shake threw them both against the wall. Warning lights flashed brighter. Talk later, Olivia said. We need to move. They stepped into the airlock. Air hissed out. The outer door opened. Before them stretched a narrow walkway connecting the landing pads. Beyond, Jupiter filled half the sky, its swirling clouds a backdrop to their escape. Stay low, Olivia said. The walkway has handrails, but Europa's gravity is weak. One wrong step and you could float away. They moved onto the walkway. The cold of space pressed against their suits. With each step, they bounced slightly in the low gravity. Halfway across, Naira looked up. In the black sky above, pinpricks of light were moving. Astrali ships approaching. They're coming, Naira said. We don't have much time. Almost there, Olivia replied. Just a little. Another explosion rocked the station, the walkway twisted. Olivia lost her grip on the handrail and began to drift upward. Naira, she cried out. Naira leaped, catching Olivia's hand. The movement pushed Naira off the walkway too, but her other hand held the rail in a death grip. For a moment, they hung suspended, in space, Naira holding the rail with one hand and Olivia with the other. Below them, the icy surface of Europa. Above them, the approaching Astrali fleet. Don't let go, Olivia said, her voice tight with fear. Never, Naira replied, pulling Olivia back toward the walkway. I didn't cross space to find you just to lose you now. With a strength born of desperation, Naira pulled Olivia back to the walkway. They clung to the handrail together, breathing hard. There's the ship, Olivia said, pointing to landing pad 3 where Kate's stolen vessel waited. They moved forward, again, faster now, reaching the landing pad as another explosion sent cracks spreading across the ice of Europa. Kate stood at the ship's open airlock, waving them inside. Move it! She shouted through her helmet radio. This whole place is coming apart. They stumbled into the ship. Kate sealed the airlock and ran to the controls. Cutting it close, she muttered. Those Astrali ships will be in weapons range any minute. The engines fired. The ship lifted off from the crumbling landing pad. Through the viewport, Naira and Olivia watched as Europa Station began to collapse into the ice. We destroyed the crystal, Naira said. But my people don't know that. They'll still attack. Olivia removed her helmet, her face set with determination. Then we need to tell them.